Welcome back, everybody. We are celebrating Oktoberfest today with all sorts of wonderful old world recipes. Carlyn is here from the Weiler Academy, and you actually lived in Austria for quite some time.
20 years.
So
yes.
you've got some really wonderful, old world German and Austrian recipes. And of course, Carlyn runs Weiler Academy, which is a wonderful place, and we'll talk more about that in just a minute. But first of all, tell everybody about what we're making today.
Okay, we're making goulash, Austrian art, so it's a little different. And it's made with a beef. I use sirloin steak because then it can get really soft and really tender. It's great. And you can serve it then over potatoes or spätzle like you'll make later, or noodles, band noodles, so really a thick.
Yeah, like a thick egg noodle.
Yeah, like something really.
And if you ever had, Austrian or German or goulash, they don't use ground beef. When you think of a goulash in the United States, you think of ground beef and macaroni noodles. This is much different. This is more like a stew and a gravy, and it's all about the great flavor of the gravy that goes over the already cooked spätzle or noodles instead of the noodles getting cooked in there. So the first thing we're doing is we're cooking some onion. And what do we put in here?
I use ghee because ghee is a fat that you can cook at a really, really high heat and it won't burn. It's an awesome fat. So the trick of goulash are the onions. So you have to have at least 3 big onions, and I've chopped them already because it takes a while. You'll be cooking those onions normally for about a half hour.
All right.
And they need to almost disappear. They need to like melt away. So they just kind of turn into nothing.
Okay, like very translucent.
Exactly,
okay.
And they're almost mush.
Ghee, so ghee, you can find this, at a lot of stores right now.
It's just a very high clarified, high clarified butter.
Yeah.
So there's no sugars or anything in it that's going to make it burn. So it's just perfectly clarified, so you can just go and cook with it.
Awesome.
It's
so
awesome.
At home, let these cook a little bit longer, but we're going to speed things along here for TV. Now we've got our sirloin steak here, and you put a little flour in with that beef.
I put like a big tablespoon of flour, and I chopped the beef into like 2-inch cubes, and nice and thick, and cut most of the fat off just because it's chewy. And then you just kind of massage the flour into the meat, and I really massage it, and then it gets a little softer and more tender, and then we just dump it in there.
All right, so it's a one-pot wonder.
Yep.
This takes a while to really cook together.
Yeah, and you'll be cooking a goulash for normally 3 hours.
Okay.
So the longer you cook it, the better it is.
Yeah,
So
exactly. It's not like a quick one. It's just, but it's a good make on a Sunday when you've got some time.
And sometimes I'll make it in the morning, and then I'll just dump it all into a slow cooker. And when I come home at night, it's cooked all day at low. And
that's a great idea. All right, so at home you want to get this beef a little browned, right?
Yeah. So just and then you just let it cook. So next thing is you take caraway seeds, which is the trick. That's like one of the most important spices. And you take then the garlic, and you just start very lightly chopping them together. And that's another trick that I've learned, because the seasoning, the flavor of both of them start to mix already. Ooh. And then when you add it into the heat, it just comes alive, and it's just amazing how it grabs onto the meat then and the onions. So you kind of make this little mish, and then you just add that in.
Okay. So this is, again, chopped up caraway seeds and garlic that we kind of chopped them together. All right.
Then you just kind of let that go.
Okay. Oh, starting to smell amazing.
Yeah.
Salt and pepper? Do you need some salt and pepper at all?
I always do it at the end.
At the very end,
depending on the bouillon.
Yep.
You see how the onions are starting to disappear now? Then important are bay leaf. In the summer, these are fresh, right?
Yep. So
in the garden, use those. And marjoram.
Okay.
Marjoram is very, very important. So
just the dried.
Yep. And you can have fresh. I always grow it, chop it, freeze it, and then mix that in. And then we're going to take Hungarian paprika. It's the more sweeter one. You don't want to use the other one because it gets really, really, really spicy, and then you wreck it.
And quite a bit of it was in here.
That was 3 huge heaped tablespoons. I use a normal cooking tablespoon and just heap it.
And that's what creates the flavor and the color.
And you can't use too much of that.
Yeah.
Just make sure you use the Hungarian sweet
kind. Oh, smells
And then we're going to take a half a cup of red wine. That's just a Pinot Noir. It's just a light red wine.
Sure.
Just kind of mix it up. It's very easy.
Smells so good.
Yeah, I'm starting to get. And then I take tomato paste. And I always say just dig it out, but don't clean it out.
Got it. I understand. So not too much.
Yeah.
We really want to taste the wine.
So I
and
meet the
beef.
bottom,
Yeah.
but you need it, but you don't want to
Overdo it.
Exactly. So then you got that cooking and mixing. And remember, the longer you let this go between each step,
The more flavor.
the more flavor it'll have. So it's really nice to take your time.
Yeah.
But you can also go fast. It's just, you know, the longer you cook it, the better.
Mm-hmm. And then we've got some
Bouillon.
beef stock that's been simmering over here.
Yeah.
And that just gets dumped in?
Yep, and then you just dump it in. And I always like to warm it up first because then it just brings it to boil. See, and then,
Right away,
then
yeah.
the spices just start to just open up, and it's just awesome.
And then
how-
let this cook low and slow at this
Yeah,
point
and just
for
let it
a
cook.
couple hours, or dump it in
Yeah,
your slow cooker
exactly.
until it really all that the juice really thickens down and it's very very thick and
Yeah, it
rich
does.
and
It gets-
wonderful.
Because the flour on the meat will make a nice
Yeah.
gravy.
So here it is, all plated with some homemade spätzle, which we're going to show you how to make homemade spätzle a little later in the show. And we will put the recipe for Carlyn's Hungarian goulash on our website, or Austrian goulash, I should say. For people who want to find more out about the Weiler Academy, you really are a place that, well, tell everybody, you can describe it better than me.
Yeah, it's just smart health. So we work with everybody from children to seniors, and we teach them how to change their lifestyle, how to live healthy and smart. That's our tagline, smart
Right.
health, and teaching them how to move and how to just get better living habits.
Yes,
healthy
so
living habits.
everything from very boutique small exercise classes to fitness, nutrition, flotation pods to
Yeah.
float in and really relax. A spa. It really is a very unique place. You can stop in and take a tour. I've never been any place like it, and it's really a special place. Great people there too.